What's up, everybody? What's up, QQ family? How are you? And welcome to another exciting episode of Queen's Quarters. You guessed it, I'm your host today, Queen Lady B. And as always, I'm going to start off our roll call. I am representing the late 30s. Queens is on you.
Hi, I'm Queen Emma and I represent the 60s.
Hey everybody, I am Queen T representing the 50s.
Queen Ty, I'm repping the 50s.
QQ Royalty, Miss Jew is Queen Tans here, representing the 40s Club.
Hey y'all, I'm Queen Nye representing the early 30s.
All right, you heard it from the queens, and that's our roll call. We want to welcome those who join us every week, and a special welcome if you are joining us for the first time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, at this time, we're going to go to our Queen T with our tea time.
Once again, I want to say welcome to all of you out there. Now, come on in because you know we always got some tea for the day. We got some tea for you. So, today we're going to talk about black tea versus green tea. Now, black tea is oxidized and green tea is not. And basically, what that means is that it causes the leaf to turn color brown and it allows the flavor to heighten and intensify. But they still can provide some of the same benefits. So, whether you like your tea green or you like it black, go get you a cup and let's see what's going on in Queen's Quarters today.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you, Queen T, for our tea time. We appreciate you. Well, as Queen Tans would say, QQ royalty, we are discussing love languages today. That's right, you heard us, the 5 different love languages. So the exciting thing is that each of us queens took the test. We took the 5 love languages test. So we are going to be discussing our results today. But before we dive into the results, let's go over the 5 different love languages. All right. So first up, we got quality time, and we'll get into the deets of all of them. Physical touch, acts of service. We also have receiving gifts, and I think did I cover
Words,
all 5? Did I cover all
words of
5? Help me,
affirmation.
Queen. Words
Words of affirmation.
There you go. Words of affirmation. So we all took the test. Forgive me, guys. I'm pulling up my results, but I do remember that I had quality time. Yeah, baby, quality time. Listen, it's the truth. I'm gonna pull up what man says about it, but I do. I'm a stickler for that. Like when I was taking the test, out of everything, I was like, okay, well, I could buy myself gifts or whatever. But it's something about spending time with your boo thing, with your husband. Let me put it, your husband, your boo thing, your fiance, whoever. Ladies, let's dive into a little bit of what was your results. Queen Ty, I want to hear from you.
Believe it or not, well, I guess y'all can. Mine was words of affirmation. I
Ah,
scored like 26% in that one, and it tells me that actions don't always speak louder than words. It says if this is your love language, unsolicited compliments mean the world to you. Hearing the words I love you are important. Hearing the reasons behind that love sends your spirits skywards. Insults can leave you scattered and are not easily forgiven. You thrive on hearing kind and encouraging words that build you up.
is
Now,
that
I don't
true?
know
Is that
how,
true, Queen Ty? Is that true?
I
Come on,
don't really
talk to
know
us.
how that's funny, but I don't know how that happened because I'm more of a romantic, touchy feely type
Mm,
of person. Like, I
mhm.
mean, I love to have dialogue with who I'm with. And I love to discuss, like, if I have any issues or problems or whatever, I love to discuss that with who I'm with. I mean, I don't thrive on him saying that I love you all the time or anything, but
Right.
a nice discussion with my mate on what I'm going through, if I'm going through any issues or problems at work or whatever. And I would like that in return as well. So
Right.
that's how I feel. Like all that, I love you, and I'm not all. I do like to say it every now and then, but I don't like to hear it all the time.
Right. 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 So, anyone else? Any other queens have words of affirmation?
Well, let me just say this. I'm a little surprised at that, Queen. I'm very surprised at that. But maybe that's not all it's about. Is somebody just telling you that they love you, but just telling you like you look beautiful today. Because it depends on how you answer the question. They could just give you a word like, oh, for some reason they come and be like, hey, and so you'll be like, okay, I still got it. So maybe that's why I came up that way. I don't know.
I don't even think I was putting down, oh, I want to hear compliments all the time. I didn't put that down. So I'm surprised that came up first. 26%.
Well, I know
Wow.
it was a little
That's
tricky.
pretty high.
Yeah, it was a little tricky. It asked you the same questions, but in different ways.
Right.
I was
Yeah.
like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And
All right,
that's what we
Queen
have to
M.
recognize when we're doing this, that these tests, these generalized tests like this, they're
Right.
designed to ask you the same questions in different ways. And they're based on how you respond to the questions, because you may have answered that style of question like you like that the most all the time, or more times than not. Especially if you got, what you say, a 40 something?
No, 26, not 40.
Oh, I thought you said 46. I was gonna say, wow, I didn't get no 40s.
Yeah, because it was looking for a pattern, I think, right? Looking
Yeah,
for a
that's what it is.
pattern
Looking for a
and how you're
pattern.
answering it. Yeah.
But for me, it depends on what they related it to. Like, what was the comparison? So I went with the one that I linked,
Gifts. It was gifts. Because I'm not really big on like somebody surprising me with gifts and all that other stuff as well.
Right.
So yeah.
Queen M,
Well,
what was your result? What did you get?
What did I get? What was the highest that I got?
Yes.
Or,
what was your
Like, can we touch
primary
all of
love
them?
language?
my
Right.
primary love language is quality time.
That was
Nice.
Quality time is important to me. I don't mind spending, I mean, we don't have to go nowhere. We could be, snoozled up on the couch, watching a good movie, at a nice restaurant, boo loving, quality time is important to me. Having my feet rubbed and relaxed, I love that kind of stuff.
I want you to read what it said.
I was about to say I was gonna read
I
it.
I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to pull that up.
I got it pulled up right. You want to read it now? Go ahead.
Yes, please.
Yeah, because quality time was mine as well. I had 27%. It says, and quality time, nothing says I love you like full undivided attention. Being there for this type of person is critical, but really being there with the TV off, fork down, and all chores and tasks on standby makes you truly feel special and loved. So I'm just going to skip down. Whether spending time talking with someone else or doing activities together, you deepen your connection with others through sharing time. So basically, just like Queen Emma said, I don't mind spending time. We don't really got to be out and about, but if we could just get that one-on-one, that quality time, we don't even got to be saying anything. When we're just in each other's presence, I really do enjoy that as well.
So out of all five, you feel like that's the most for you? I mean, outside of what the test told you, like you feel like that you're in tune with quality time more.
Yeah, it's quality time because you don't even got to be touching me all the time. So quality time is good. I'm interested to know if anybody got that touchy feely one.
Right.
Well,
Right, so-
Queen, what was your percentage? And Queen Emma, repeat, what was your percentage again?
Mine was
Quality
27.
time. What was yours?
27.
29.
But see,
My primary love language was quality time as well, and mine was 37%.
Wow.
37,
So,
but if you notice, it
You
reads
beat me. I got 30.
at the end of the sentence, the last sentence, everyone has something different. It reads different.
Mhm.
So
Oh, I see. I don't know how to pull that up on my test.
okay.
and I felt like it was pretty accurate. And you guys, Queen now had already talked about all the qualities that came under that, but one of the qualities was failure to listen is hurtful, and I think that's a big deal for me. That you try to listen and understand, and a person that gets me and understand me, that means everything to me. So I felt like it was pretty accurate.
Nice. Queen
That's pretty
Ten.
good.
We
Mine was,
what did
yeah, I got a 33% in no, mine was acts of service. Acts of service. That was my top. That was my primary. And wait, hold on. Oh yeah, I'm trying to get back to it. I went from it. All right, so my acts of service says, can vacuuming the floor really be an expression of love? Absolutely. Anything you do to ease the burden of responsibilities weighing on an acts of service person will speak volumes. The words he or she most want to hear, let me do that for you. Laziness, broken commitments, and making more work for them tell speakers of this language their feelings don't matter. Finding ways to serve speaks volumes to the recipient of these acts. And that is me all day long because I'm busy, I have children, I'm always running, I'm always doing. So my partner will suit best for me. And how can you pick up some of this slack? And I'm telling you, when that said that, I was like, oh, that read me. That read me. That did. It read me because I'm a servant at heart. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I don't know how. I normally say opposites attract, but I'm a servant at heart, and my mate or who I'm with is a servant at heart, and it's like I do, he do, and it works. Like and I find that yeah, that right there was very interesting. I got a 33%, and out of all the other love languages, that right there is the most important to me. Being a woman with a family, absolutely, yeah. That works for me.
And you know,
go ahead, Queen.
And you know, since Queen Tans is talking about act of service, I say let's just take it from there because act of service for me, I scored very low on that. And you know, I actually scored 13%. And you know what? And what you said means a lot because I don't have any little children. So I don't have all of those responsibilities. Like when my children were little, I had those responsibilities. Went into this game, went into that game, taking this one to dance school. And I had all these things, you know, going to the school for this, for that. And so I don't have all those responsibilities anymore. So that was pretty kind of low for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the third one for me. I actually got 20%. And it basically says at the end, when others serve you out of love and not obligation, you truly feel loved and valued. And that's very true. I mean, if you could just do for me without having any hidden agenda or just doing it out of love, it makes me feel good. Because I'm a giver. I give.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. And I think what's most important for me and what's amazing for me in the relationship that I'm in, I don't ask. I don't have to ask. Like it's just done. And it's not even that I have to bring it up. It's like, let me do that for you. So when that thing said, let me do that for you is what I want to hear, I was like, oh my God, because I didn't realize that before being in a relationship until it's happening. It's like, you don't realize, it's like you could put on a whole list of what you want from your mate. I could have told you if I would have had to create this list, that wouldn't have been there. But I'm realizing I needed it as I'm in this relationship. It's not something I would have thought I need because, you know, my mother was Superwoman. So to me, I just roll up my sleeves and do. So to have somebody come in and say, no, you ain't got to do that no more. I'm here. I was like, huh? What?
That's good that you were receptive of that, Queen Tans, because I struggle with that. Like, just not even relationship wise, like even at work, if I feel overwhelmed, I would just sit there and just bust it out instead of saying, like, let me see who ain't got much.
Help me, help.
Right. So that's good, especially like if you've been single for a while, like me. I've been single for quite some time now. So when that happens for me, I'm gonna be like, I might give her a hard time a little bit. Like, no, I gotta make sure it's done like this. I gotta be right.
No, and I'm not gonna front, Lady B. I'm not gonna front because I ain't give it up easy because I'm so used to doing it.
Right,
but it was like, no, I'm going to pick her up. You go do X, Y, and Z. No, I'm going to pick him up. You do X, Y, and Z. And I was like, that's where the submission had to come in. I was like, okay.
I love it.
But you know, the in reality, that's the way it's supposed to be.
It
You know, we
is.
kind of got the
That's
roles
right.
mixed up, like Queen Lady
Yeah.
B said. A lot of us are single, and we're taking care of the house, and we're working, and we're taking care of the kids, and we're doing the food shopping, and we're doing everything. So we're playing the roles of so many. You know, we're playing so many roles. But the key is, I could imagine, Queen Tans, it got to be difficult to kind of let that control go. But reality is, I'm sure you feel less stress. You feel, you know, like you said, that makes you feel more loved. And so, you know, we have to learn to relinquish a lot of those responsibilities. That's technically our role as women.
Yeah,
Queen T,
acts of service came up to
let
be
somebody do that?
26% for me. So acts of service was my second highest too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mhm.
What you?
Oh yeah, I
go
was
ahead,
asking
Queen.
Queen T, would that be hard for you to allow someone to help you in your everyday
Well,
life?
I'm quite sure, because I raised my children and they're grown now, and so I pretty much did it by myself. And being a single woman for quite some time, I'm sure it would be difficult, but because I know better, you know how they say, you know better, you do better. And because now I know better, it's like, hey, I'll welcome somebody, come and take some of this weight, you know. So yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for me. I mean, y'all might laugh at this, those who are older than me, but especially when getting older, listen, when I turned 38, I was like, wait a minute. Like it seemed like my energy level was like, it just started declining. So I'm like, you know what? On that note, I can go take a nap. Yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead and do that for me, please.
For real.
Okay, so we basically got the most of what quality time is. We went over words of affirmation, right? So let's.
But we missed Queen Ty, right? Queen Ty, did we miss you on that one?
Right?
Oh, acts of service. I was with
service. I'm sorry.
Mine was at 19. And it read the very same thing that hers read at the end. So mine would rank the second to last.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. So anybody had a high scoring in physical touch?
That was the fourth one for me, 17%.
Okay, wait, because I want to read this right here, because when you think about physical touch, most people, I'm not saying us, we start thinking about something else. But let's see what let's see what
very true.
Right. It says a person with this love language feels love through physical affection. Aside from sex, those who have physical touch as their primary love language feel loved when their partner shows physical affection in some way, like holding their hand, touching their arm, or giving them a massage. Oh, yes, God, these shoulders, giving them a massage at the end of the day. Additionally, their idea of a perfect date might include cuddling on the couch with a glass of wine and a good movie. They simply want to be close to their partners physically. So that's like very close in quality time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but that wasn't my next highest one. I didn't get real high on that.
I thought you would rank really high on that
I know
one,
you
Queen
would. That's
Emma.
why I raised my hand.
Mine was a 23. Mine was the second one.
Mine was 20.
And it says really appropriate and timely touches communicates warmth, safety, and I love you. And I'm big on the safety thing. I'm big on feeling safe, not secure in my relationship, but feeling safe.
I mean, like if he's a protector, I was going to ask you that. Like, are you referring to feeling safe emotionally, or like, you know, if you out and something go down, like he
both
hold it down?
Definitely both. I want to feel safe in my relationship.
Me too.
That you feel the same way I feel about you, and definitely feel that you have my back if something goes down.
Right.
So that's always been big.
They probably run faster than you. Oh
yeah, massages, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's a big thing for me.
Yeah. Well, for me, that was the fourth one, 17%. Okay. We don't got to be touching all day. This is what it comes down. So I love giving hugs, yay, and all of that. But some people literally just like to be touchy feely. Me, we could just be together.
Now, believe it or not, physical touch for me was 6%.
Whoa.
Wow.
Physical touch for me was 6%.
I'm surprised.
There we go on a conversation about this not that long ago.
Receiving gifts was 23%.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense. You know you bougie.
I remember the Pepsi and the what was it? The Pepsi
and chips.
Right.
Yeah, receiving gifts was higher for me.
Y'all probably won't believe it because y'all probably think I'm like materialistic, but receiving gifts
You
was
are.
my receiving gifts was my last one. It was 13%. How about that?
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Well, I'm going to say physical touch was my second highest, and it was actually 17%. And I think it's nothing like being out with a guy and he touches you or grab your hand at that right moment and everybody know he with you or you with him. And I think that's a great feeling. It makes you feel like Queen Ty said, it gives you that security. Like he ain't trying to hide. He ain't like, well, who in here know me? You know what I'm saying? So I think that means a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember a time, that reminded me of a time my ex, even though it turned out to be one of the worst relationships ever, but at this time it was good. We was walking in Times Square and he stopped me in the middle of Times Square and kissed me. I was like,
so y'all like that PDA?
Like, huh?
Y'all like the PDA?
I mean, we don't gotta do the most, but yeah, a little at the right time. Know when to do it and how to do it at the right time.
At the right time, yeah.
Right.
And you know what? In taking this quiz, it depends on where you were during the time that you felt like taking this quiz.
That's true.
If you was in a good space, if you rushed through the quiz, if you were in a bad space, if you was having one of those whatever kind of attitudes about the quiz, would determine on what your numbers are. I'm sure if we took the quiz at another time, our numbers might not be the same, depending on, how you answered at the time that you were taking the quiz.
Or another season of your life too.
So, yeah.
Right.
So it would vary.
Well, Lady B, I'm glad you expressed, you gave us the definition of what that really means, because it's not just, because I don't like displays of affection out in like publicly. I'm talking about, you guys know what I mean, like kissing and all going all deep like that. Y'all just tongue kissing out in the street. Like that ain't my thing. Right. But a touch, a respectful touch in a particular way is just a man putting his hand on your waistline. It's great. Not on your butt, but your waistline. That's a beautiful thing, not. So not displays of affection like that.
On how you were raised. My father was very affectionate. He wasn't, my father was the type of person that he would hold my hand. You know what I'm saying? And I'm used to that kind of stuff. My children are the type that, from what I understand, they're quite romantic. They'll hold your hand, walking down the street, they let the people know that I'm with this girl. My father would let you know, my father was very affectionate with my mother. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what you were used to, on how you view that kind of stuff too.
That's true, because like my grandfather, he wasn't really like touchy-feely. You gotta force him to give him a hug, but we knew he loved us. I give my grandmother a hug in a heartbeat. So yeah, I understand. It is different.
Yeah, physical touch for me was third. Physical touch for me was third, but the quality time was my second. So it was acts of service, quality time, and physical touch. Yeah. So that's all right. But yeah, I like I said, I'm like more of a mentally stimulated type of person. You know what I'm saying? So if we can have that intimacy there, then that right there works. Yeah.
I know the first few seconds if I'm gonna like you or not just by
right
come out your mouth. So that's true.
Yeah, you can pick it up. You definitely can pick it up.
And I think this is great. It kind of tests our honesty on this platform, because if you go back and look at one of our previous podcasts of us talking about ourselves and what we like in men and what we're looking for, I think this kind of backs it up. So if you guys haven't watched it, go back and watch one of our old episodes of who we like and what we're looking for in our men.
Yeah, yeah. And I also too, just to kind of emphasize what I said earlier, like it's good not to limit ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because the very thing you think you need in a relationship, it could be very seasonal. You know, it might be what you're thinking you need at that moment. But then when you get with somebody, you know, and that's the somebody that God has ordained for you to be with, like your weaknesses play off their strengths and their strengths play off your weaknesses. And it should be kind of like a perfected match, because some of the things in a mate that you think you're looking for, once you get that mate and they do other things, you be like, oh my God, I didn't even think I needed that. But that is a quality that I'm finding that I need. So, you know, like for single women out there, or those that are looking to date, or you looking to know your love language, or even learning yourself, because like Queen T said, you know, learning yourself in this area is really good, especially while you're trying to fashion yourself to date. It's you really got to learn yourself, you know, because you can't try to get with somebody and you're half a person and you want that person to complete you. You got to complete you. You understand? You
Yes.
can't look for somebody to be the completion of you. You got to bring you to the table, because if you're trying to find you in somebody, then you bringing all that baggage and you're putting way too much weight on that person when they're trying to figure out who they are and bring their whole self to you. Like you're bringing your half self, and it's not a good match, you know. So as you're learning yourself and taking this love language, kings and queens out there, just be honest and like just know, don't limit yourself, because it could be something that you might need that you don't even know you need at this time. So you got to be open too. Don't limit yourself to that list.
Well, I have a good question. I want to just say, prior to doing this, and I know it to some people out there, this may seem like it's not really a big deal. I never knew what my love language was. I didn't even know there was 5 different love languages. So this allowed me to take a little look at myself. And I don't know if you guys would agree, but I think this would be a great icebreaker. So it would be nice if we could put this link on the bottom of our bottom of our podcast, so that people could go in and they can also use this as an icebreaker on their first date when they really don't know what to talk about. Hey, let's take this test, and then it could just spark up a lot of conversation.
Yeah.
Learning your significant other love language, I guess it could better your relationship for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and even if you don't match up well with the person, at least you'll get a little bit more insight about that person, and they can get a little bit more insight about you. So
Better.
I was gonna say that I saw a couple of shows, and like while we're laughing and joking about this, like this love languages have been deal breakers in relationships. Like when a person just doesn't get what makes you happy, or you maybe can't get into the swing of what makes them happy, and it's like, you know, it causes a conflict in the relationship later on down the line. There's actually a book that I haven't read and a movie behind the 5 different love
It
languages.
is.
So my question to you guys is, if you were with someone and they just weren't understanding that this is what you like, how do you get somebody to really understand how important this is to you?
what do you mean, like them speaking your love language?
Right. Like say your thing is quality time, and he's always on the go. He seems like the one, you're really into him. He's always on the go. And because he's always on the go, he just brings you home gifts. Like he can't stay long. Like it's never a situation where he can like really spend quality time when that's your thing. Like, do you compromise? What do you do? Like, how do you communicate that to your mate?
Well, I'm sure for myself, and when I'm in a process of getting to learn someone and I see how they are, and they cannot give me the things that I require or the things that I desire, that tells me right there that relationship. Well, you know, it depends. Like you said, it depends on where you at that time. It's probably not for me if you can't give me the things I want, because those, at the end of the day, those are the things that's gonna make me happy. So if I if I desire quality time and you only got time to give me gifts, eventually it might be cute in the beginning, but it's going to wear out, and it's going to be like, hey, when we going to spend time together? So it's always going to become an issue. So I would definitely, I'm going, when you're going through your weeding out process, those are things to look for.
That are really important, because some women, you can capture them by gifts. That happens a lot today, like materialistic. You gotta have this, or I need my red bottoms, or I need my Gucci, this, that type of stuff. Never, like, I was never into that. So yeah, you're right.
And also stepping outside of relationships, I know that my cousin, she said that basically her father's a truck driver, and he always was like, hey, I love y'all, gave them everything and anything they wanted, but he wasn't there physically. So when she grew up, she was just like, wow, now that he's retired, I literally have what I need for my dad. He's not helping me out. So her love language must have been quality time. So I'm just like, oh.
But what happens? What happens in situations like we just took the test tonight, this evening. So what happens in situations for people who don't quite know what their love language is?
If they don't know, they still know what they want. Like she knew she wanted her father, and with her physically, she just probably didn't know it was a love language.
Right, but she had to get that after he retired, and that's a whole different, in my mind, type of relationship. Your parental relationship, your relationship with your parents is different from a relationship with your mate. So, if you were looking into the relationship with your mate as opposed to one with your parent, how do you, and you have not taken this test to recognize that your number one thing is quality. Now, I know in your mind and in your heart, you're like, okay, because my number one was quality time. And so I know for my own self in a partner, like I need somebody who could spend some time with me. If he's not spending time with me, I'm the type of person that's like, you know what, this is not working for me. I need you to spend more time with me. This is what's happening with me because I'm a talker. However, everybody doesn't have that gift. And so how do you...
How do you just boost yourself up like, hey, here's a gift? Only some of us got it.
Everybody's not like that. Everybody's not like that. Everybody can't express themselves. There are people who they'll be mad and you don't know what they're mad at. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Down, because they
gotta express how they feel.
I'm making a joke, Emma, but Queen Emma, but I totally understand.
Know what your love language is if they don't really know that.
I guess communication can help that. You gotta communicate what you like and what you don't like.
Okay.
Absolutely, you do.
Yeah, your expectations. You gotta lay that out. But like you said, Queen Emma, too. Like I'm happy you said that too. Being in a relationship and some people are not. They don't communicate as much, and then you know that's different language. Like that book, what men are from Venus. Women are from Venus.
Men are from Mars.
Yes, that was another book that talked about how different men and women are and how different they are in relationships and how different they communicate. So you have women like the guy, like guys joke around and say, I asked her, is she all right? She says she fine. I think she fine. But you really not fine. So why you say you fine? You know what I'm saying? Right. That's where you want him to have ESP and he want to read your mind. He can't read your mind.
Absolutely.
And that's why guys be like, oh my goodness, women are so difficult. Just say what it is, but we be so, I want you to know. You should know me by now.
Right. All this time we've been spending together, you don't know me, but you know what?
Right.
We're not promoting that book unless they try to endorse us. However, that book has some good things in it because it talks about what a person says, like what does the man say to the woman and what she hears.
Right.
That's it.
That's
it.
Deep.
It is deep. It's so deep because once again, men be like, I just don't know what you want. Like it confusing me. And you will and you said, Queenz, you be like, what you mean you don't know what I want? You should know me by now. It's been a year. It's been 10 years. Now But you gotta communicate, and like Queen Emma said, you gotta be willing to express yourself because he can't read your mind. Like men are not, they can't read your mind. So you gotta be willing to communicate, no matter how hard it is, no matter how difficult it is, you know. And maybe at another time, maybe if something hurts you that bad, you don't want to talk about it right then and there. But you gotta make that commitment to talk about it at some point because communication is big. Just like them deal breakers. Communication is a huge breakdown in a relationship if you both can't communicate effectively.
Exactly.
I agree. I think you know what. I feel like sometimes poor men, like, or like if they don't get it right with us, it's like that's the golden rule: make your lady happy. But we have a job too. Like
we do.
Make sure our dude is good. Like
yes.
Like some of us scored low with gifts or whatever. Like, but what if that's not your thing? But what if he loved when you bring him home?
Exactly.
Talk about it.
You know
Talk about it.
Logically. For me, I had to learn this because I was in a very great relationship. The guy, I shared with him before, talking about the Muslim guy, yo, and he did everything for me. Hey, he did everything for me, and not just me. Like he would be like, "Oh, we not just going out to dinner. Get your whole family. We all going out to dinner." I'd be like,
"It is, yes." So, see, that's that right there.
So when it was like his birthday, Gunda was like, you know you gotta go all out for him. I was like, I do. Yes. And him giving, it was still psychologically, there's something that happens growing up. Like on a serious note, it's almost forbidden. Like, why can't I spoil you, my man?
Yeah, come on, talk to me. Absolutely.
Good man.
Wait a minute now. Talk about this thing, Lady B.
What's wrong with me catering to my man? You know?
Okay, now Lady B. Girl, you just opens up a whole can of worms for me because listen, you wonder, like some women in relationships kind of just wonder, like, and listen, I am not, let me just put this out there, I am not approving or condemning the other woman. I'm not. Right. But I know some of you women know where I might be going with this. Listen, if you're not going to do it, somebody else will. Why you laughing, Emma? Because you know she knows she got something. What you thinking? What Emma just say it? Yeah, I don't know.
I'm good. Go ahead.
We need to say PG. We need to say.
You good, Queen Tans. Keep going.
No, but if like your man's doing, like we had a question come through one time, and the guy said he do this for his woman, he do this for this woman. Look at this, I can't. He do this, he do that, and then
your sister is crazy. Your sister is crazy.
Oh, it's Thais. Okay, it's Thais. All right. Sorry, kings and queens. We're gonna have to find out what that is later. We'll let y'all know what they but really, you don't want your man to feel like he's giving, and you're not doing nothing and picking up that part. But then he's in the locker room or he's in a barbershop with his fellas, and his fellas is sitting there telling how his wife or the girl just went all out, and he just, in the back of his mind, you know how the enemy play. In the back of his mind, he like, yeah, wow, I do all this for my girl, she ain't did that, you know. And then it's that division. So you're absolutely right. You want to make sure you are keeping your mates just as satisfied as he is keeping you as far as gifts or whatever he's doing, so you don't lose that connection to anybody else.
Absolutely.
Emma left the building. Huh? Emma left the building.
He's not teasing you.
But you know what, Queen Tans, let me embark on that a little bit because it goes back to something a little bit more personal for me. Like, I love to shower my men and give them nice gifts, you know, whoever that person, that special person is. And it's like I automatically think that if I'm showering you on your birthday and I'm giving you all these great, thoughtful gifts, I'm expecting that you're going to do the same thing for me. But you know what? Like you said, Men can't read your mind.
No.
So you have to definitely in a relationship, you have to communicate and let that person know these are the things I like. These are, so that when they give you something, they know what you like. You say, hey, listen, I like when you're thoughtful, when you're listening to me and you're listening to my needs. And then when you go out and buy me a gift, it's something that I could use.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Because you're in a relationship and you're learning one another, and you can't be so quick to get upset with somebody if you're not communicating certain things.
Absolutely.
Because it's a learning. We're learning each other. And you got to be just as patient with him as you expect him to be with you. You're learning each other.
Yeah, I was in a relationship where I would talk to him about certain things, and he would listen to everything that I said, and he would come and surprise me with whatever it is that I was talking about. Nice. And I'm like, yo, you don't realize until someone does that for you how thoughtful that is. And you're not expecting it at all. You're just talking and telling him whatever it is you're telling him. And for him to come and surprise you with something like that, that just kind of blew my mind, because I just never expected that at all. Mm-hmm. It wasn't something I was even looking for.
Right.
So something like that does matter. It does, because it shows that you're paying attention, you're listening to me, and not just hearing me one ear and out the other. You're actually listening to me.
So Absolutely. Anybody else got anything else to add? Well, Emma, this one here, he got left.
Tell us what the joke
Listen, he done left, came back, and still cracking up.
Exactly.
You know what? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, because I know I'm much more professional than that. But something just turned over in my tickle box sometimes. Every now and then that happens to the best of us. And my tickle box got turned over, and I just couldn't stop it. I don't know if that has ever happened to anybody else besides me, but I'm telling you, when sometimes it takes a lot to have me just totally out of control, and I couldn't stop it. So I want to apologize to everybody, but I'm telling you, something just tickled me. I just couldn't stop it. It was like a freight train coming. I couldn't stop it.
Yeah, you can't be Queenz. I know Emma is literally our comedian. Okay. So,
I'm telling you, I got tickled. I really did.
Just as hard. Y'all know.
Right. We don't know what's going on, but we cracking up just as hard. Taya's tickle box was running over too.
It really was. I'm much better now, and I'm ready to seriously discuss love languages.
Okay, Lady B, what's our next one?
But I do have a question.
The last fifth one. Go ahead now. You said you got a question.
Yeah, now that we know about these love languages, when y'all get into your new relationships, okay, I know some of y'all in relationships, so when we get into our new relationship, you're gonna be like, hey babe, take this love language test so I can know you better, or you just gonna try to learn. What y'all gonna do?
I was gonna say that earlier, like I think Queen T suggested that it'll be cute, if you dating and eventually you take the test. You gotta be real careful how early you introduce that test to a man and how you decide to, because they'll be like, I don't know, maybe that's just a man that's not ready, like, oh, why, like, oh, you want to know all of this? It's just a cute test, but I think that's a good idea. But it is really good. You know what? I'm vocal. So most likely when the time is right, I'm going to share with you my do's and don'ts and stuff like that. But men, sometimes you gotta wheel it out of them, because they don't always feel so freely to communicate what makes them happy.
But you know what? I think this will give them the freedom to say, and it's basically like you're saying, what was your highest one? What was your score? So you could talk about how you scored on that, and then basically have a conversation from that. So now I know that he has, let's just say, the quality time. That's his love language, and then yours might be gift giving. So now we know how to kind of play with that. But it's not just to say, hey, this is what's going to determine whether or not we could be in a relationship, or you even trying to take it there. It's just to have general conversation. You're just getting to know one another. So I don't think it's that deep or that serious.
I don't know, because some of them might see that you have a gift giving as number one.
And run.
They like, hold up, all right, I'm getting this one.
That's
But
true.
you know what? I'm the type of person that I'm a gift giver. If I see something that I like for my partner, it doesn't bother me. Now, I ain't gonna buy no, Movado watch or nothing like that. But if I see a nice T-shirt that says something, or a nice cup that reminds me, or I see that he's lacking something, or he needs something, or something like that, I'll pick it up with no expectation. If that's not the way he does, I've dated people who, like, their love language was, are you okay? How's your car running? What's going on with this? And I've dated other guys in my lifetime who was like the touchy-feely kind of person. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it depends on your partner and where you are in your relationship.
But what about that man that don't want you to do nothing for him? Like, you buy him.
I've never met a man like that.
Well, what about the receiving gifts? Did we go through that individually?
I think, did we go over
No, I don't think so, because that was my
the
very
words of
lowest one.
affirmation and receiving gifts. We didn't really touch on
Right.
the words of affirmation. and
Queen Ty had the words of affirmation. Remember, she started us off with that.
Oh, she started it off, but none of us said where we were with it.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
none of us said where we were with it.
Words of affirmation. All right.
So that words of affirmation for me came in fourth place. That came in fourth place.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, that came in fourth place for me.
That was actually,
and that's green, right? That's
the green one.
Okay, that was second place for me.
Yeah,
okay.
Yep, that was second place for me.
I was pretty high on that one. I was at 23%.
Me too. 23.
And yours was second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at 23% at receiving gifts. I love receiving gifts.
Oh, we know.
Well, you know what?
But I don't mind giving gifts, so that's why I like receiving gifts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't mind giving gifts. So
and I'm gonna say,
gift doesn't have to be equally. It doesn't have to be equal. Like if you give me a diamond ring and I give you a bag of potato chips, as long as the thought was there.
Oh no, you better not give me no bag of potato chips. I gave.
Yeah, mine came in at the last place. It was like 10%.
For receiving gifts?
No,
you talking about words of affirmation, right?
No,
words of affirmation.
For me, receiving gifts.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, gifts. The gifting came in last. Receiving.
What was your fourth? What was your fourth to last?
My fourth to last was acts of service.
Acts of service. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I was just as equal as Queen Ty with 10% for receiving gifts. But I just want to clarify that, because I like to receive gifts. However, it was giving you like do you want to be, would you receive a gift, or would you rather spend that quality time just chilling with that person and doing nothing? So I had to pick between the two. So of course that quality time meant more to me than receiving that gift. But it's nice for someone to come and say, hey, I was thinking about you today, and give you a gift. And it don't have to be nothing major, but to say, hey, you were on my mind. So I think it's a great gesture.
Yeah, I agree with you, because like I said, I had a friend that used to go and give me flowers, like all the time. And that was very nice, because that had never happened before. He's just because it's blue, the sky's blue, it's clear, he'd give me flowers or do like little things. It doesn't have to be major. It was little things that he did that made the difference for me.
It's the thought behind it, right? As well. Also the thought behind it.
The thought behind it. He knew I needed a phone holder in the car, so he came up and it was like little things he paid attention to.
Right.
That was really good.
And I think, Queen Todd, that makes the difference, especially for me. I'm not big on like receiving gifts, and it's like, what am I gonna do with that? I don't want that. You know, if you listen to me and you know what I need and you get me something, I appreciate that so much more than maybe that expensive thing you went out and bought and you know I have no interest in it. Or you don't know, you just buy me what you want to buy me. So I'm really big on that.
Yeah, I would definitely receive any gift that's given to me. Okay.
So how big are we on patterns? Like you said, Queen Ty, he brings you flowers all the time. You know, you guys been dating for like 6 months, and on the 7th month, those flowers just disappear. Ain't no more bringing the flowers home. He's still a good guy, but he stopped the flowers. Like, I know it's little stuff for me. Like, I had to grow up. I was real immature in this area with patterns. Like, if we texting, you'd be like, baby, beautiful. And then the next morning, you'd be like, good morning. Like, with no baby, I'd be like, what happened to my little
baby? Who there?
What? We gonna say accusations. Who around you?
Something changing. You'd be like, what? I just said good morning. I had to grow up. I had to let that go. So how big?
I'm just wiping the cold out my eye. Nothing changed. I just said good morning.
But you know what? Sometimes those can be signs. Sometimes those can be signs. Like, you know, if you've been talking to this person for a while and they've been doing that every day, and it's one day, it's not like, oh baby, it's like, oh, I call you later, or y'all normally talk on the phone, but now he just sending you a text. Yeah, things can be different, but when you start seeing little changes like that, you be like, what's going on? It can be a sign.
Right.
Exactly. Now, if it happens once, that's one thing. If it's continually, that might be a sign. But if it happened one time, and all of a sudden you like your spidey senses go off, then you got trust issues.
I agree. I totally agree.
One thing, you know.
Right. If he ain't say baby, you like, who there? Who next to you? FaceTime me. I want to see you. Turn the camera around.
Yeah, FaceTime me now.
But we know that's how it normally goes. We don't just take one thing and be like, oh my God, somebody must be there. I mean, you really got to be kind of crazy if you feel that way or you think that way. But when you're around someone enough and you've been dating someone long enough, you start to notice when they're acting funny, Queen Emma, when they change. You know,
so true.
You see the red flag.
So true.
Yeah. You gotta pay attention to the signs.
But I do. Let me just put this on myself. I'm the type of person that before I jump to conclusions like that, like I let you bury yourself. You know what I'm saying? I let you mess up enough that, and it's not like I'm stupid. Yeah. But I'm willing to give my partner the benefit of the doubt because I'm open and I'm talkative. And I'm like, you know what? I noticed some changes in you. What's going on? You know, I think something is going on. I haven't seen you in a couple of days. Where you at? What's happening? You understand what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. But now if it continues to go on and on and on and on, then, you know, my spidey senses kick right in. But if it's once or twice or something, because you never know what a person is going through. You know what I'm saying? You never know what a person is going through. And like we've already discussed, like men are not necessarily always open. Sometimes you got to pry that information up out of them. That's true. So if they have something that's going on, they may or may not be willing to discuss. Sometimes you have to sit back and wait until they're ready to tell you about it. And in a day or so, you know, maybe later on or whatever, they might say, you know what, let me tell you what happened on the job yesterday. Or, you know, let me tell you what's going on with my family situation. Or, you know, my knee hurt, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, you know, my pressure was up for 3 days straight, you know, stuff like that. Then, you know, but you can't just right away. I don't just right away. As soon as the first day, you don't say, you know, hey, boo, you know, and you just say, hey, I'm like, oh yeah, he's dealing with somebody else. Cause always he say, hey, boo. Now all of a sudden it's just, hey, you know, But you have to understand too, I'm older. So some things I value different. My values are different. Right. You know, if you still don't say hey, but you still paying the rent, you know, still paying the mortgage, you still making sure my car good, you know, you still, you know, making sure everything is right, groceries in the house, you still date me and romance me because you don't say hey, boo, one morning, I'm all right with that.
Emma, are you serious?
Be
No,
serious.
I don't believe
She's
that.
serious.
What?
I don't believe that.
Trust me. If I can understand if you're going through some issues. I'll give you a chance before I cut you all the way off. Now, don't get me wrong, my spidey senses kick right in, but I make observations. But I'm going to give you enough rope to hang yourself. That's how I roll. You know
And
what I'm
I
saying?
agree to a certain extent,
Yeah, I'm
Queen.
gonna give you enough rope to
You
hang
can't.
yourself.
Yeah, you can't be so ready to shut them down
Yeah,
and block them, put them on the blacklist after one instant.
exactly.
You
Change the
gotta.
phone number.
Oh, let me tell you something. Like I dated a guy where nothing about that he was cheating hit me at all. Like everything was normal. But then this one time he just jumped up and just left. Something hit me, was like, yo, something going on. Something going on. I called him, he answered, oh, I'm out in the yard, I'm working on my car. And I'm like, "Oh, something's just not right with this." And I went on over there. He was nowhere outside working on his car. Yeah, I mean, I called him. He ain't answered. Then he finally come rushing up out the house, and I'm like, "Yo, what you doing?" You know. So, like I said, I that women intuition is no joke.
No, it's
Listen,
not.
I am in total agree that woman's intuition is no joke. However, when he first did all this happen within a 24-hour period, when he jumped up and he left and you went over his house and found out he wasn't in his car or whatever,
Yeah,
or
within
did that take a couple
24-hour
of days
period.
or a couple of weeks or whatever?
No, within the 24-hour period. It was no, I had no idea that he was doing whatever he was doing. I had no idea. But did I give him a second chance? No, not at all. I didn't give him.
You didn't give him 30 seconds.
No, I didn't, because my thing is I'm faithful to you the whole entire time. But here it is, I'm finding out for a few months you have been cheating and doing whatever you was doing. Like,
But how did you find that out?
huh?
That one day you found that out? That one day
Within
you
that
found
one day, yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I haven't had that experience, thank God. Because
Yeah.
then y'all will be talking to me from jail cell number 268.
That was almost the case.
No, but that's really good points that you ladies shared, and what you said earlier, Queen M. Sometimes it's because you've been through so much. Like I can remember my in the beginning of my first relationship, I you could go anywhere, you could do whatever. You could be going all day. I wouldn't call you because I'm like, if you don't know to check in while you going, like, all right. But as time went on and you experienced different things and you've experienced different traumatic situations, and then the loyalty or the trust shattered every time. I had to grow up, y'all. I'm telling y'all, because the minute those next few text messages wasn't right, I was like, something ain't right. But
see, I just believe that when you start looking for trouble, you're going to find it. When you go
right, that's right. I learned that too. That's right.
Not in your case.
Looking.
No, I said not in your case, but I
Right.
that when you it's different from everybody. I believe for myself, when you start looking for trouble, you'll find it. Number one, and number two, I'm always so busy until you better worry about me before I start worrying about you.
Come on,
you see what I'm saying? That's how I roll. Okay,
not be so available.
For 2 days, you won't hear from me for a week. That's okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I was dating this guy who was acting kind of funny, so I would just go hide my car and spend the night over my sister's house.
Who got time for that? Who got time?
When I was younger, I had plenty of time for it. But as I'm older, that's why I don't sweat it no more. I don't worry about that.
But also too, I want to add a little something, and I don't want to always be the one that's taking it spiritually or taking it, but God gives us grace, right? And every day we ask for we don't even ask. New mercies and new grace. And I mean, we are not perfect, right? So like, well, as we're striving to find a relationship, kings and queens out there, this is just kind of like something out there. I'm not saying don't have don't have food on your written on your forehead. Don't be a step stool. Don't let nobody use you. Don't let nobody walk over you. You know, be wise. But also too, you have to have a forgiving heart, and you have to know that people aren't perfect. Now, I'm not saying cheating on you and sleeping with every Tommy, Sue, Lynn, and all that. No, there's certain things you don't stand for, but you just kind of understand too, as learning somebody or whatever. You just have to be mindful to offer grace and offer compassion, because everyone grows up different. Everyone has different situations and different scenarios, and some things that might be important to you may not be as important to them because they were not exposed to that. And that's where that learning each other comes into play and all of that other stuff. So I'm talking about different things. I'm talking about like maybe addiction to porn, or addiction to DMing, Facebook, or flirting, you know, because there's some flirty men out there that loves to flirt and like loves to get attention or whatever, but they would never take it no further or something like that. Whatever the situation is, if you're uncomfortable in it and you're expressing that to him, or him or her, for kings and queens, if anything's happening and you're expressing that to your partner and they're not willing to change and they're taking you continuously over the same hurt patterns and things like that, then you need to wise up and check out. But if you see that this person's trying to grow, they're trying to mature, they're trying to be a better person, because maybe their prior relationships or whoever didn't require that maturity level of them, and they were still able to flirt, they were still able to go out and hang out all night and come in all kinds of night, or whatever the case may be, because their prior relationship didn't demand anything better. You got to be willing to grow with that person and teach them, like, listen, because once again, like we've said on previous shows, people will only do to you what you allow them to do. And Queen Emma says it all the time. People only do to you what you allow them to do. So you have to be willing to have that compassion, that same grace and mercy that God gives to us daily, because we're not perfect, to grow with somebody else and not expect anyone to be perfect in every circumstance and situation. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there as we was talking about little situations that people go through.
When you said that, it reminded me of a quote. Yeah, that was real good.
On top of that, God also gives you common sense. So if God leading you and telling you that this is not the right relationship for you, whether it is or not, you have to listen to what your inner God is telling you.
Go ahead, Lady B. What you was doing? What was all this? What was happening over there? Wait, we can't hear you. Wait, we can't hear you.
Checked out.
Oh, but what I was saying that with everything Tansy said, it reminded me of a quote. A relationship or a couple or just two people who never give up on each other, always trying to grow in love, always trying to, go through the seasons together.
Yeah, go through the seasons together. Yeah, because that's how some of our grandparents and parents made it. They went through the seasons together. Because I declare, my mother and father has not always had the best relationship, but I tell you, they stand here how many years later? 53 years later. 53 years later. And you don't stand 53 years later easily giving up on somebody and not forgiving them and not having compassion and mercy. I'm sorry, you can't. You can't make it. And a lot of our older, family members, our grandmothers, our grandparents, our mothers, our fathers, they say this new generation is Burger King, have it your way. You know what I'm saying? But you can't have no relationship, a meaningful relationship with somebody, having it your way. You can't, because a relationship is compromise. It's coming together. It's growing with one another. Mm-hmm. Lady B, you got a voice yet? What's up? We hear you? Dad, no. We can't hear you.
No, we can't hear you.
I know. But yeah, we can't. Queen T, you quiet over here and doing a lot of lying. Like the bobblehead in the car. You gotta say something.
I hear what you guys saying. I'm in agreement. I don't have anything to say.
That's it. You pulled the Emma. You pulled the Queen Emma. All right. No, wait.
B, you there yet?
Y'all still can't hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes,
can hear you
you're
now.
back.
Very low, very low.
Very low, but you back. Go ahead and close us out. What you was gonna say? You was saying something.
So I was teasing. Can y'all hear me? Y'all can hear me?
We can hear you good.
Okay, I was teasing around saying just that we just got hit with your moment, Queen Tan's moment of wisdom.
Oh no.
We gotta make that a segment. Queen Tan's moment of wisdom. I was like, oh yeah, that was good. No,
Because she always preaching to
that
us
was
even when
great.
she don't want to.
Yeah, I truly don't be wanting to. No.
No, it's all right. It's in you. Listen. The audience need it, and it blesses me too. It ministers
Me
to
too.
us all. Yes.
Thank you, God.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we shared some great points, but no, yeah, heal, right? So we want to make that clear, heal. So you don't be like I used to be. The minute you don't hear "baby girl," you start thinking something going on. No,
Feel. Yes.
get to know you, love on you. As a matter of fact, let's practice doing the 5 love languages for ourselves. Spend quality time with you. Buy
Yes.
yourself something. Do something nice for you. Give yourself a hug, physical touch. Let's start there. Let's make sure we're covering all of those 5 languages within ourselves. And then we get to share with our mates and the people around us what makes us happy. All right. So I think that is our time.
Yeah.
We are going to put it back into the wise hands of Queen Tans. Oh, that rhymed. That was correct.
Queen Lady B, that was a beautiful summation. We thank you for hosting. Thank you so much. I'll tell you, kings and queens, our QQ royalty, we love you. We thank you. We would not be here if it was not for you. So we thank you for allowing us to be here and to serve you. QQ royalty. We know that please keep in mind to share, like, comment, and subscribe to all of our social media platforms. And you have been a part of the Queen Quarters experience where there is a king and a queen in you. Stay tuned for our next Wednesday. Of course, we're going to have a new topic and we are going to be coming back to you. So we're excited to see you next Wednesday. But keep in mind, too, we're going to put the link in our description on the love language. What is your love language? What is your love language? So we pray that this blesses you in your future relationships and even maybe your current relationships. But what is your love language? All right, kings and queens, till next Wednesday.